Welcome back. We're continuing our discussion with our current events panel. Joining me again, Mike Patton and Michelle Simard. Just before commercial break, we were discussing this rage index. Yes, Canadians have rage. Who knew? And the angriest places in this country are number one, Alberta, number two, Ontario, two of the more populous provinces. Mike, what interesting takeaways did you find from this research report?
Well, the only reason Alberta is first in the rage index is because my wife could only answer the poll once. If she could have answered more times, Ontario would have been in the lead. But it's interesting. It just feels to me like people are angrier than they used to be. And they looked at a whole variety of issues, and Canadians are just angry about all sorts of stuff, all the way from the economy to the war in the Ukraine, everything. They're just generally pissed off.
Yeah, I get that. I feel a little bit of that sentiment sometimes, especially since COVID. Wasn't a big fan of all these lockdowns, and I feel like it hasn't subsided. There's that remnant vein of anger, if you will, with a smile. Michelle, are we angry people? Are Canadians becoming angrier, or is just the veneer finally coming off?
So what I think is this, and again, it's anecdotal, but I think that Canadians are starting to assert themselves a little bit more. Our anger is very different from an American anger, whereas since we're angry, but what do we do about it? I was away, as you know, the last time we met. I was in Florida. I just came back this weekend, and I saw that there was 25,000 people in front of the American Embassy in Toronto, which to me was unprecedented. And so there's clearly incitement. And so to me, the way I look at it is this: how do we deal with it? Of course, we're in a democracy, a free democracy. We have free speech, and those are protected rights. But how do we deal with it? And I think how we deal with it is discourse, and what we're doing right now, Tanya. So thank you for the opportunity for me and Mike to have this conversation with you, because discord is important. And I think that when we have a conversation like this, it helps ameliorate some of the issues that are there, because there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation.
Now, when I see a protest, I'm actually thrilled. I'm like, oh, here are people exercising their freedom of expression, freedom of assembly.
Yes.
It's a good outlet for maybe inner anger rather than just bottling all up. Yeah, go protest, pick up a sign, say something, do something responsibly, but do it. I don't know. I think compared to our American neighbors, I don't know, maybe we have an internalized anger, but I still think that we're a little bit more pleasant. I don't know. Mike, any thoughts?
Well, I think a lot of it, I think you're right. I think it's still some post-COVID hangover, but also I think it's a reflection of
That's
the
fine.
general anxiety people are feeling. It just seems that there's so many problems right now between the economy and, you know, a number of different wars to keep track of, that people are feeling anxious, and it's coming out as a bit of anger.
Now let's shift gears. We have seen in the last several weeks, because of the Hamas terrorist action in Israel, and then the response now from Israel in Palestine, that there seems to be a rise in hate crimes, what's considered a hate crime, especially anti-Semitic hate. I have just a quick stat here. In the last several weeks, so basically since October 7th, there have been 63 anti-Muslim hate crime documentations and 217 anti-Semitic. That seems it's definitely disproportionate, but also that's a high number of, hate actions here. Michelle, what are your thoughts on this?
So I live in a Judeo-Christian neighborhood, and I have a synagogue walking distance from my house. And I can tell you that, as you guys know, I've been away for the last month in Florida, which, by the way, I'm grateful for. And I keep in contact with my neighbors. And it has been very tough and difficult. And I try to do my best. We're like, let's put information, let's try to do what we can do. But it is very, very hard. And I don't understand that predicament, because it's not happening to me. And it's happening to them. And so we always try to relate. And that's the best we can do as humans. But I think that we need to do extra more. And I only say this because on the alternative, We have others who say there's Islamophobia and that people are going against people of Islam. So we have a dichotomy here. What do we do about it? And how do we ameliorate both with still having civility in trying to find a common ground with good discourse?